Hello, and welcome to Mixed Breakdown of Scary Pleasure by One Girl Shy. So, the band and I, we've been talking about doing like a series of videos of the songs that they're putting out. Scary Pleasure is already out now, so please do check it out on Spotify, whatever streaming service that you prefer. So, yeah, I think one of the reasons why sort of the band encouraged me to do something like this is I think they just sick and tired of me talking about mixing and whatever, just yapping about plugins and Pro Tools and whatnot. And I think it's their way of saying that, you know what, why don't you just look into a camera and just yell into the void and hope that someone's listening. So, with that being said, hope you enjoy this. I had a lot of fun making this video. So, yeah, right. Enjoy. Okay, so here's a full mix right here. I'd say about, I think, including all the buses and folders and whatnot, running about 77, 78 tracks. So pretty decent for, you know, today's productions, I guess, even though it's like a three-piece rock band, so I guess in that respect, sure, it's a lot, but yeah. Okay, so here's the song. Let's go from here.
You got it twisted, kick it, hold her open, feel her move under you. The way she throws you back, you gotta learn her secrets, take her for a spin. She's a beast to tame, and when I learn her secret, she's gonna scream my name. She'll make you shake with a little roar, but all I know is that I want more. We gotta hold on tonight. We gotta hold on so tight.
Okay, so this is sort of the final. This is what sort of went out to Spotify and uh, whatever other streaming services. So I want to sort of go back to, say, the raw session. So basically, this is what I get. So this is what I got from the producer. By the way, produced and recorded by Santosh Nataraja at Third Eye Studios. He did a fantastic job on this. It sounds great, like just yeah, it's a great capture. So which is a lot of fun to mix. Yeah, so this is basically, I mean, right now this is all edited up, but there's nothing running. So this is what you get. So I'll just play from the riff here. There's a rough, I think there's a balance already that's been going on here. So, and I don't think that's changed much, but yeah.
You got it twisted, kick it, hold her open, feel her move under you.
It's very dry,
You
you
got
know.
it twisted, kick it, hold her open, feel her move under you. The way she throws you back, you gotta learn her secrets. Take her
Yeah,
for
you
a
can really
spin.
hear the room,
She's a
you
beast
know.
to tame, and when I learn her secrets, she's gonna scream my name. She'll make you shake with a little roar, but all I know is that I want more. We gotta
Yeah.
hold on tonight.
Yeah, so you can see the vocals coming in. It sounds very dry. I think that's the word. uh, that we're looking for here. So let me go back to the main session. Let me hit save here. Okay, so with any mix that I do, the first thing that I like to get started on is drums. I love mixing drums. I think any engineer who mixes, like, yeah, I think all of us can agree that mixing drums is the most fun thing to do. I don't know why. It's just nice. It's just really nice to get that drum sound dialed in. Yeah. So for our drum kit, it was a pretty simple setup. We have a kick in, kick out. I have a one of those Yamaha sub kick microphones, then which gets bussed into its own kick drum folder track is on Pro Tools. That's what they call it. I think for every other DAW it's the same. Then snare top bottom, and I think this was I just duplicated the snare and I'm running. I think, yeah, it's a sample which is frozen. I can probably show that once we play the drums. Yeah, then toms. We have two rack. I think it's a 10, 12, 14, 16 is the configuration. I'll probably throw up a picture of the drum kit and, with all the mics, and I think it was a Mapex kit. Akshay, the drummer, fantastic kit, very, very well maintained, and great drummer as well. And yeah, and I think, okay, a float on sample. I'm not sure why that's there, but okay, let's see. Oh, I think no, this is yeah, this is an 808 sample that's being triggered from the 16-inch float on. So yeah. All right, then metals, hi hat, overhead, left, right, standard. Then yeah, this thing, sausage mic. So basically, I think from what Santosh told me, it's a mic which I don't know, it's pointed towards the center of the kit, like it's right near the snare. The whole idea is that it sort of captures, like, it's pointed towards the drummer's crotch, basically. And I don't know if, like, the guy who sort of came up with it, whether it was by accident or I don't know what that session was like, but it somehow just works. It's a very gritty kind of sound, especially, and this is the mic which you sort of abuse it with compression, saturation, distortion. You can really fuck it up. And I mean, obviously based on the kind of sound you're after, but yeah, it really responds well to, yeah, just really extreme settings. And yeah, I don't know, it's nice. So yeah, like I have a distressor and a neural cue, which is, yeah, and it's maxed out. It just works really well. Then room mic standard, and then I have another duplicate of a room which I'll show what it does. And yeah, a drum reverb and drum bus, which feeds the overall drum folder, basically. So all my folder tracks feed my drum bus, which gets processed here, and then this goes straight to my drum folder, which sort of has another layer of processing. Okay, so without talking too much, let's listen to the drums. So yeah, intro. It's nice, punchy. Yeah, like I like the tom sound. Got the lexicon reverb. So, okay, let me now just sort of solo in on what's going on. So, let's get the kick going on the riff. So, It's pretty simple actually. I think what I've done is I just time aligned the kicks, just so, because obviously when there's a kick in and out, there will be some level of a delay, like a time delay. So you want to sort of make sure or move the waveform, or you can use like a delay plugin or whatever you have on you, and just make sure that they're lined up. And you can even try. Oh yeah, I think I tried like say flipping phase as well, which it really depends. Sometimes I'll just flip the phase on a kick in, and that's it. Like that's what I like, and I just leave it as is. But if it still doesn't do, or if I still don't like what I hear, I'll move the kick in to the out sort of waveform, or vice versa, whatever. Again, whatever works. So here I have all the three channels bussed in, and it's just I have my preset, which is again not really doing much. I think I had to back off on some of the EQ. So yeah, I'm adding a bit of, I think, 50, 55, taking off some of the mids, adding some 5K, and not really touching so much of the high end, or the whatever high frequencies, and shaving some of the extreme lows. And now this is a SSL trick. If you are around recording forums, Reddit, YouTube, those rabbit holes, and if you're a fan of SSL like me, I'm sure you've come across this setting where the idea is that you max out your threshold, like, at the lowest that it will go, and do the same thing for the release. Use a slow attack, which this button does, and then in order to sort of decide how much gain reduction is like, that's decided by the ratio now. So you never really, like, generally, okay, like, sometimes, like, I'll set up the ratio first and then adjust my attack and release. But here, your threshold is sort of, you know dimed or whatever, and like those values are fixed, and then you're using the ratio to get the gain reduction going. So yeah, and it's sort of touching around 6 dB of gain reduction at, I think this is about 4:1 ratio. It sounds great. Like, let me just bypass this. So this is without. So just a bit more punch, it just sort of hits you a little bit in your face, kind of thing. So yeah, that's the kick. Now let's go have a look at the snare. Yeah, so I think you can hear getting a lot of bleed. There's the bottom mic, and this is the sample that we're running. So I use the sample to just give me a little bit more juice, and so like, see what I've done here, like, I'm adding more high end because, if I do that here on my main snare, I'm just gonna get a lot of hi-hat, which I don't want. So, and again, it's fed to its own snare bus or folder, and then I'm running the API strip, again, UADX, fantastic. The 550 EQ, great on snare. I don't know. I like the predetermined frequencies. It just works great for drums, especially snares. And I think I'm running some compression. Yeah, there's compression. So let me just bypass this for a sec. Yeah, you just get the smack, you know, which, yeah, everyone likes that. And then that's fed into the MV2. It's a very quick plugin. If you're, I've used this live as well, and yeah, it's great. Like, It's great. I think it's a mix of downward and upward compression. Uh, so look into it, I guess. But yeah, it sounds great. I will. Let's see. So we bypass. Yeah, it just somehow compacts the sound. I don't know. It just makes it more dense, I think. Then we have toms. Let me solo up the tom section. Oh, yeah, I think this. Yeah. So with the toms, it's pretty simple. I think I have a channel strip on all of them. So with varying settings, more or less adding like a good amount of 6K, like that high mid, a lot of low end here, and similarly on the 16-inch. Yeah, taking out some of the low mids. I mean, yeah, it's pretty standard drum mix, sort of. I mean, what you would do, right? I think gates, and I don't know if I'm running compression on these. Yeah, there's not so much compression on here. I think there is something dialed in. Yeah, I think something's coming in. And again, all the toms, they are fed into the tom bus, and then I have again the MV2 on my. This, yeah, makes it more tight. And let me bring that back out. And let's go back to, let's say, chorus. So yeah, standard overheads, spaced, pair, and so yeah, with the hi hat, I'm not really using it everywhere. Yeah, I think I have my automation line here, so I think it's only for the verses. Yeah, and for the hi hat, I've been like, this is the stock sound, and as you can hear, the amount of bleed that's coming in. And let me bring that back in. So it just brings that that I'm just looking for that airiness in that hi hat. I think I'm using C6 preset. Then just compressing like it's very like when it's soloed, it sounds horrible. I just don't like it. Like this, it's very wishy-washy kind of thing. But together, it just sort of works. Okay, now yeah, sausage. Let's listen to this. So yeah, I think this was so you can really hear like there's already like it's super compressed. I think when I got the file, there was compression already printed on it, and but I still decided to sort of push it a bit further. So yeah, I mean 6:1, medium attack, quick release. Yeah, decent amount of gain reduction, and that's fed to this Neural Q. I think this is a free plugin, and I think everyone should really buy this if you like saturating stuff. Let me now bypass the chain. So this is the stock sound, and now let's bring out the room. This is the room, nothing on it. So the idea behind this was I just wanted the room aspect of it to just sort of pop out more. I'm getting all my whatever transient information that I need from the sausage mic. So generally, like if I don't have this, I use the room to really bring out the transient and to give it that push. But since I have both, so I thought, okay, I can use the room and really exploit that. Oh yeah, a lot of EQ here, and then the Wolf Comp, one of my favorite things out there. And again, this is a aggressive compressor. Like this is not for clean compression, transparent. There is nothing transparent about the Wolf Comp. So yeah, let's hear the drums one more time. So I'm gonna mute the room mics and bring those in. So when I bring everything in, what to my ears, what it does is it just with the imaging, it just sort of spreads things out. I can feel it in the ears as well that it's not so narrow. Like I'm not using any stereo widening, nothing. It's all of it is you know, with whatever recording we've got. So, not that I'm not a fan of stereo widening plugins, but I tend not to use it. I think I am running something, which okay, let me just bring that back in as well. So, which is it's like a micro pitch thing. I think this was found in the Eventide H3000. I think there was a program on it and used everywhere in most rock music that you heard during the 80s, 90s, whatever. And I really like that sound, and I think it just works on everything. So yeah, I set up a bus, blend it in to taste, and yeah, that sort of also helps to give you that stereo image with. So that's it for drums. Let me close this off. Oh yeah, okay. Let me just to wrap things up. Um, so we went through all the channels. Now for reverb, I just have I think one lexicon thing going here. I think I'm using this preset, and I think I made some changes to it. A great plugin. I think probably one of the best reverbs that I've used for drums, vocals, whatever. It's great. It sounds great on everything. And yeah, so then I have, yes, the bus compressor, or rather the drum bus compressor. The Brainworks Townhouse, I don't know what it is, but on drums, I do not like anything else. This is the one for me. So let me solo this up. Take it off. Yeah. And this compressor, I don't even need to even experiment with the settings. This is what I do. If I have this in front of me, whether it's hardware or plugin, and if it's a good plugin especially, if I leave it on this setting and just fiddle around with the ratio, generally 4:1, and I'm happy. And I try not to go beyond 4, unless it's a super specific thing that I'm trying to do. But if it's a bus, I try to keep it very gentle, and I want to sort of follow the groove, so it should have that kind of, it shouldn't be pegged basically. So yeah, but I love this plugin. I mean, it just brings it to life. You know, like right now, yeah, okay, sure, whatever. then yeah, love it. And followed by again one of my favorite plugins. I cannot. It's one of those desert island plugins for me. Yeah, yeah. Like I just if I have this and a couple other, I mean, yeah, I cannot do a mix without it. You will see, like it's. I think it's on a couple other channels as well. So let me play some. Now bass. So this is something, the drums and bass for any mix. Uh, at least to me, it's the rhythm section is the most important thing in a mix. If that is not, say, played well, recorded well, it just uh, you'll never be happy with your song. Like if you ever, even if you're writing a song and that thought comes into your head that, oh, something's missing. I'm not really, like, you're still missing that sort of feel or whatever. Look into the rhythm section, because I think that's where most problems lie. You need a good rhythm section, your guitars, vocals. Those elements will shine only if you have a solid rhythm section. There is no two ways. There's nothing else that you can do. Like, you just can't fake that. Yeah, you need to have it. So that's why. So as soon as I'm done with drums, the next thing which I dial in, sometimes I'll have the bass going while I'm doing drums, just to see how that relationship is. And yeah, as soon as I'm done with drums, I move to the bass and start working on that. So let me solo up drums and bass. Of course. From I think from what I remember, uh, I think Santosh had maybe, I think, five different channels, if I'm not wrong. So Rahul, I think they were running a direct out from his preamp or his pedal board. Then they mic'd up an Ampeg SVT, or I think whatever. I don't remember the amp right now. But it's an Ampeg, and I think they took a split out of a DI. So just a bunch of channels, which, and I didn't. I think I ended up using maybe two of those. So sorry. Uh, so yeah, and now my sort of technique for bass or approach to bass, I like to split the channels. So I'll have one which just gives me all the low end, all the sub frequencies, the low mids, and then the other would be, and I'll have another split, which is, say, I think where's the, yeah, I think I have a, it's a 196, so it's pretty steep. And let's go here. Yeah, so it's almost like a band pass filter or something that I'm running here. So that's the idea. I like to separate it, so then I have control over it. As you can see, let me just solo it up and play. Yeah, so this is all the low end, it's feeding an R comp, heavy compression, then feeding a limiter, just to sort of get that consistent low end, you know. And then here it's more clanky, it's more, open. So that's why together they really work well. So if I solo out both of them, let me just solo here. So get it. I'll mute one of these. So I'll put it in. It just fills in that sub, that warmth. If I take this off, it's still not bad, I think, but yeah, it may not be heard on, say, smaller speakers, and I think Rahul would also like this. So, you know, add that back in. And again, it's feeding this plugin, the CLA bass. It's on every mix that I do. It just, I don't know how they make these things, but yeah, it just works. So then it feeds an EQ, and yeah, that's about it. There's not much going on. Oh yeah, I do like sending like a separate bus, and I love running a chorus. So I think this is again the U80 Brigade chorus, fantastic plugin. Choruses on bass, yeah, it works every time. So yeah, drums and bass is done. Now let's get into guitars. Now this was a lot of fun. So Santosh really went crazy recording uh, the guitars. So we have a bunch of channels. So basically, we had two amps. I think it was a Vox AC30 hand wired running into a 4x12. I don't know the speakers. And then they also had a Mesa dual rec with a Mesa 4x12 closed cabinet running. So both the amps are side by side with, I think, a C414 and a Charter Oak plus 57s, and I think a 906 thrown in somewhere, which were closed mic on the cabinet. And then I think we had two room mics, if I'm not wrong. What's this? Oh yeah, yeah. So left and right rooms, yeah, and a DI split for direct sort of recording. So yeah, I mean it was massive. It just yeah, like I mean, even though I think I am running like an amp sim, which is like really blended in, but yeah, just the raw, the amp sound, the room, the amps in the room together, working together, it's fantastic. So let me sort this up. So this is without, like, there's a lot of heavy lifting which is happening here. So this is basically what's recorded. And I mean, as you can see, I'm not really doing, I think it's just, yeah, it's all just high pass filter. I mean, so this is something which, oh, I think these are the room mics. So let me just play up the room mics separately. So you can hear like both the amps, like, you can really hear the room, and like this, somehow they just work. And AC30 and a Mesa dual rec, they really work. So, and these are, so I think, yeah, this is the Vox amp. And let me bring in the Mesa, which is here. So yeah, like, the Vox has that high mid push. It's more clear in that range, and the Mesa is the low end, the thump, all that warmth that you would want in a guitar sound. And I think maybe that's one of the reasons why they sort of complement each other. Then okay, so, and yeah, this is, I think I'm running the ML800 Ampson by Am something, a great plugin. Uh, Not the great, I don't know. Somehow it works in this application. I'm not the biggest fan of the plugin, to be honest. If it's the only thing contributing towards the guitar sound, I don't know. Somehow it just doesn't mix well. It sounds great isolated, but it just doesn't work well in a mix. but used in this application where I have uh, a bunch of other amps, like mic amps or mic cabinets, and I'm sort of using this to just add in little other some more character. So for that, it works pretty well. So let me solo this up. It's a JCM 800. I think I'm running a greenback impulse response, and yeah, I think I'm boosting the front end with like a inbuilt drive pedal, whatever they've got on the plugin. Let me see if I can uh, unfreeze this. So I have to be careful with Pro Tools and recording and everything. Let me see. Yeah, okay. So yeah, I'm diming up the input and it's a pedal board. Yep. So I have a drive running here, which is I think it's supposed to emulate the Tube Screamer. And yeah, these are the settings. Yeah, you can see it. Hit. So yeah, amped ML800. Let me freeze this again. Might have to wait a little bit. Oh, okay, it's pretty good. Well, then I completely missed out on two other files or other channels. So yeah, so we had 3 amps. Now that I remember. So we also had an orange rocker verb or rock verb, something, great amp, great little thing. And I think that was running into a torpedo captor load box thing, and which was running an impulse response and had direct outs, like XLR outs, DI outs. So, and yeah, we had those in as well. So, which let me sort this up. As you can see, I've done a lot of prep for this video. Right. Yeah, the orange. It's great. It has it's the low mids in this are great, and it just has like if the Marshall is more chimey and that sheen and brilliance that it the characteristic that it brings, the orange is grit. You know, it's a bit more, I think, low mids. It's a bit more fuzzy, I guess. If driven to that point, I don't think we were driving the amps that hard. But yeah, I think I've just added a bit more the radiator. I think just to get a bit more push. I think it just adds like a bit more saturation. I think you'll see like saturation is a big theme here. So okay, all together. Oh yeah, let me bring it up here. The bus plugins. So I have again Pultec, great. Like it's again one of those desert island plugins. I love it, and it just adds so much more body, so much more oomph, you know. Um, yeah, fantastic plugin. I think yeah, I'm using one of their presets and then just tweak from there. And oh, I think I then yeah saved it as a preset for myself to use later. Then followed by again the Better Maker. This is again an emulation of a Pultec, which has, or rather their version of a Pultec. And again, I'm back on mid side here. So you can So the mid sided helps to, to, if you want to add, to me, it feels like it just adds, if I want to add depth to a sound or to a mix, works great for that. Then from this, it feeds the LA3A. And if you notice, like, I'm barely hitting 1 dB of gain reduction. Like, it's nothing, right? But I don't know. So there's something about the LA3A, and there's something that I've, like, all your top rock mixers, your Chris Lord algaes, the other algae, and Andy Wallace. A lot of guys who mix rock guitars and, like, that kind of music. They all swear by the LA3A, and I never use the hardware, but I can see. But even with this plugin, yeah, for guitars it sort of works. I don't like compressing guitars, otherwise, but this is probably the only compression that I'll do. And then that's followed by, yeah, the Manly Massive Passive. I think just to bring out the mid range more in your face, because the riff, like, especially in this song, the riff, everything is in the riff. You want that, pronounced as much as possible. Yeah, and I think this plugin, it's a psychoacoustic plugin, but I think I was trying it out now. It's, yeah, the trial expired, so there we go. Oh yeah, one more thing that I sort of like doing, because I don't like compressing guitars on the channel. So I like to run like a parallel bus and use this API. I think this is a technique that I took from Mixed Bus TV, or it's a guy with the mohawk. It's a great little trick to for electro for to get that punch. That's why it's called guitar punch. So let me just mute this. It just, I think it does something to the lower mid, like it just pushes it forward. So yeah, these are the settings. Fast attack, sorry, slow attack, very fast release, and yeah, it's completely, decked. Yeah. It's a great little trick. Now I have, this is like another layer of guitars. That's why it's called the BS layer. Like, where, like, I was like, okay, I don't think we really need this, but sure. Let me see if I can play some of that BS layer. Yeah, okay. So it's just like this flangerish thing. So, let me play it together. So, cool. Yeah, now let's get into vocals. We have some, maybe I'll get into some background vocals here. So let me solo up. Uh, Let me give you the vocals and the background together.
We gotta hold on tonight. We gotta hold on so tight.
Yep, it's a little bit of bleed. Gotta live with it, gotta live with it. Headphone bleeds. So, um, yeah, let me just solo up the
We
vocals.
gotta hold on tonight.
Yeah.
We gotta hold on.
I think for vocals we had a double track vocal and I think one distortion vocal. Yeah, lead distortion. So basically, Santosh has this preamp which, you know, it has like a transformer drive circuit. So I think he just put it on 10 or wherever it goes, and then so you get this really nasty distortion sound, but if it's blended in subtly, again, harmonics, saturation, I think at this point, you know where I'm going with this. So for the vocal sort of strip, I have, bit of tuning going on, channel strip. So let me just play and go along.
We gotta hold on tonight.
Adding back some low end, have a bit of de-essing
We
going
gotta
on.
hold.
Oops, first time in the session.
We gotta hold
Yeah,
on
like
tonight.
so. Generally, I don't necessarily like quick attack and release for vocals on the 1176, but for this one, I don't know, I really didn't like. As you can see, I'm not really doing that much compression. So, but yeah, I think that's what worked for me at the time, so I just stuck with it.
We gotta
Even here,
hold on tonight.
just trying to hold on. You know what I mean? So yeah. Now let's bring out the background vocals. So background vocals, I think, yeah, we have four, 8 tracks. I think Rahul, Akshay, and Aki. I think all three of those guys sort of went one by one, and yeah, let's go.
Hold on tonight. Hold on so tight.
Again, like nothing too crazy. A little crazy on the pitch correction here on the sort of wet dry thing, and yeah, I think even on the channel strip, I'm not really affecting it much here. But if you notice, I have so I think both those vocal tracks, background vocal tracks, are feeding their vocal bus, background vocal bus, and then those two are feeding the main BGV bus, which is running the JJP vocals. I only use it on like gang vocals or background vocals. It sounds great. It's again not subtle at all. If you're using this, be ready to just really hear your sound change. So let me just play without anything here. Yeah.
Hold on tonight.
Right. So sounds how it sounds, and then let me bring it back in.
Hold on tonight.
So yeah, this J. Let me mute this. So
Hold on tonight.
it does so much of the work for you. Like it's such a quick thing, especially when you're dealing with a lot of layers. It is because I don't want to spend a lot of time tinkering with each individual stem track, whatever. So I like finding plugins which, so if I can group a bunch of tracks which sound similar, which is by the same person or the same done on the like the same performance, and it's a stack of it. So I like to bus it and then see if I can, just even though it's say 4 tracks, 5 tracks, whatever it is, but you treat it like one instance of it. So and for that, this JJP vocals, yeah, it's great. And then after the JJP, I have again, I think it's become one of those plugins which I cannot live without. The Sound City, and oh, okay, I'm using the remic option here. That too on the drums. Okay, this is interesting.
Hold on tonight.
Okay, yeah, I'm not really using the room or equalizer. I know what this is. Trust me, I know. I, like I said, I've done a lot of prep. Yeah, so I think I'm using the encode. So if you own the Sound City plugin or you know about this encode thing, so it's basically, I think in Sound City and in all of these LA Hollywood studios, they had this Dolby noise encoder, noise reduction unit, because well, back in the day, tape hiss and just analog noise, from all those beautiful consoles, people actually hated all of that. So they would use this Dolby noise reduction unit to mitigate that. But I think I forget who's the producer or mixer who sort of noticed that if you run vocals through it, through the encoder, it adds this. I think it was maybe Mutt Lang, if I'm not wrong, or the guy who mixed all the Def Leppard stuff. So what those guys noticed that if you run vocals through it, it just adds that air, to it, which yeah, like it works great for gang vocals or background vocals, even vocals in general. So the Sound City guys or the UAD guys, they sort of put that in here. I'm not really running much, but let's see what we got. I playing no.
Hold on tonight.
And bypass.
Hold on so tight.
So it's hard to really, I mean, it's one of those things. It's not really an EQ or, I don't know, maybe it's saturating some frequency, something, but it does something which is, it just complements the sound. And yeah, it's sort of what I'm after as well. One more thing that I'm doing here, along with the vocals, let me just, I have an organ track which is running. So yeah, just on, I think it's just on the first sort of hold. So it just to sort of give it that little bit of push. So let me solo up all 3 of these.
We gotta hold on.
It just without it, I don't know, it just sounded empty to me. Now with, it just adds a little bit of that warmth on just that one word, just on that down hold, you know. Yeah, I think this is about it. I have a bridge section here where we sort of did, sort of after we recorded the main thing, we added this little layer on. Yeah, actually, let me go over the bridge section. The bridge is kind of important here. So I want to play the bass here because Rahul had this very crazy, sub octave. I don't know what they, bassist man. Like, I mean, is it not enough that, you know, I don't know, like our first is not enough for you guys that you have to like go into all of this craziness, you know? Yeah, look at this. So yeah, sounds quite horrible on its own, but blended in works.
Feel the waves of ecstasy running through your head to toe. Fills up your very being, a pleasure.
So yeah, very. It's like a whisper vocal, and there's a bunch of things going on. I think I have some, yeah, like some crystallizer presets. I think I'm going pretty heavy on the compression as well. I don't know. The idea is to be very deliberate with this part. So let me.
Do you feel the waves of ecstasy running through your head to toe? Fills up your very being, a pleasure pulsing to your core. Grip it tighter, kick it higher. Feel it rocking, pushing forward, keeps you asking her for more. Bend her down, make her fly. Deep into insanity, this demon child will make you soar. See that get yourself on top
So yeah, that's it's a nice part. Like I think when we were sort of when I was initially mixing it, it was we didn't have this. So let me. I mean, like I don't want to. So that bridge section, that build up was just on its own, and I had this idea that okay, maybe if we try and add something, because it's that bass is like he's constantly on it, and then we jump into like the last bit of chorus. So we thought okay, let's try and figure something out that we can add to really just push it to the max. Right. Yeah, I think that's pretty much about it. I think we had something else. So yeah, right after this, we tried some panning stuff. So just to solo that up, let me bring it back here.
hold on tonight. Hold on so tight. Hold on tonight.
So yeah, the idea was that just for this part, we wanted that shift from left, right, and then back here. And then it comes back on the center. Yeah. So, as far as the mix is concerned, this is pretty much it. All of this then feeds the submaster, which feeds my master bus here. And you can see like I have two limiters, a loudness thing here. So let's go over what's going on the mix bus. So this is something that I do everything. So I like mixing into like a bus compressor. Generally, I would use the Townhouse, the SSL style bus compressor, but this has sort of become my new favorite on the mix bus. It's very, this is a transparent bus compressor. It doesn't really add that much color, uh, but I like it. I like what it does. I like what it does to uh, I don't know, to the overall two bus. Yeah, it's nice. It somehow um, like for especially the vocals, I feel it just puts them in a pocket. Even the guitar, actually, all the elements they just feel they just tighten up a little bit and they just find their respective place in the stereo field. So it's great. Like, and again, nothing aggressive. I'm barely hitting 2 dB slow attack, and there's yeah, like medium-ish release. I think. Yeah, great plugin. Again, UAD Spark. You know, I highly recommend getting that set. So then followed in again back on the Better Maker EQ Pultec thing. And I have this one preset that I use on everything, and then which I use as a starting point, and then based on the track, the sound, whatever, I tweak it further. So yeah, let's listen. Again, mid side, just you know, doing some touch ups here and there. So yeah, I think I'm just affecting just the low end here and a bit of the on the sides and just boosting and cutting 16K. So then yeah, there's another plugin which does I would say saturator, loudness maximizer, kind of, I don't know, something. So very simple to use. Like you just put the button in, bring in the effect, choose the curve that you like, sort of whether you want. I think if you go lower, it sort of adds more lower harmonics, or rather affects the lower end of the spectrum, and then if you bring it up, it sort of adds more towards, it makes it a bit more sharper, I think, or adds more brilliance. I wouldn't really say sharp. So let's listen to this. Very subtle, you know. Then white men really like this plugin. More saturation, Then I have an RTA which is just ducking a bit of the mids for me. And then filter, which is yeah, just touching a little bit. the Fairchild plugins, whether it's the UAD one or even the Waves Puke Child, even if you leave it on, it has a certain harmonic character which it adds to your mix. It's great, like as you can see here as well. I'm not really this touching gain reduction. So it's more for the saturation that it's giving me. Yeah, and then it feeds into a soft clipper thing. So the soft clipper is basically like if you can see here, if you can see these red sort of dots or rather the clips, what it does is if you have like say transients like these drum transients that we had on this mix, it sort of clips those. It enables you to it gives you a bit more headroom before you hit your limit. So that sort of just enables you to sort of you have the option to push a limiter. Otherwise, if you don't use a clipper uh, and say you hit your limiter straight, you may not you might get more gain reduction which is being triggered by your snare or any other percussive element or could be something else, but largely it's percussion sharp transients, percussion drums, those kind of things, and so your limiter is now reacting to the snare hit rather than the overall program material, right? So the clipper helps, it sort of brings down those transients and sort of you know averages it out uh, across your across the waveform, and yeah, so then it enables you to run your limiters a little bit more so you can get more output, you know, loudness wars and whatnot. I mean, not that anyone I think really cares, but yeah, you wanna have at least as loud as whatever else you hear on streaming platforms and whatnot. So yeah, that's that's about it. So let me play with and without the mix bus and see what we get. So without, let me back this out as well. Yeah. Wait, inactive. Cool. And there we go. Thank you for if you stuck around for the whole thing. I mean, kudos. You're, yeah. I mean, wow. Thank you for checking it out. I like I think with One Girl Shy, I think we have more videos planned. I'm probably going to be putting out some more audio based stuff out there, you know, whenever I get time. So I don't know if I have a set schedule for it right now. So yeah, check it out. I'll leave some of my socials and whatnot in the description. Feel free to follow if you want. If you don't, it's all good. Thank you.